What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of My Hero Academia Season 7. We are finally back, man. The episode itself was fantastic. A lot of great art animation, especially with the Toga section, man. Next week looks like it's going to be fucking insane, man. I mean, it got its own key visual for Todoroki and Dabi match next week, man, which, I think means that, Studio C's going to be going off, man. I don't know if we're going to get a lot of Sakura in that episode, but I'm sure it's going to be a big episode, an amazing episode in its own right, man. So I'm excited for that, given the fact it got its own key visual for the next episode, man. But I'm excited for that one, man. This episode was phenomenal in its own right, man. Got some really great moments, got some really great art animation with Toga. The moment with Uraraka and Izuku, man, y'all know I was hyped. I was hyped for that shit, man. You guys ought to see that in my reaction to the episode, man. Now, before we jump right into the rest of the actual episode, man, quick little thing I have to say for you guys is that the way that my reviews are going to be recorded for the foreseeable future is going to be a bit differently. We are going old school, man, because I mentioned this in previous videos, but my laptop is kind of died on me or it's messed up because I think I mentioned before that this thing has had some overheating issues with me recently. It overheated again, and when I tried to turn it back on, it was acting for this pass lock thing. I have no idea what it was. Tried to see if look the link up on my phone to see if I could get the code to get it to work again. Of course, it wasn't there because of course it wasn't. So yeah, until I can get this thing fixed, it looks like you have to reformat the drive and reinstall Windows on the whole thing, and it's a whole thing. So there's that. So until we can get that fixed, man, we're gonna be the way I'm gonna be recording reviews is a little bit on the order. We're going old school. I am back to using Share Factory to record my reviews. As some of you guys may know, OGs the channel may remember that I use Share Factory on my PS4 using whatever headset I had, and the audio was shit in those videos to record my reviews until I realized, oh yeah, just wiring it to my head to my controller instead of doing a wireless somehow makes the audio sound way better. I don't know how that works, but it worked. But that's how it was. Anyway, man, so because of that, man, we're going old school. I'm using Share Factory on PS5 actually this time because it actually picks up my mic, my webcam that I use for my reviews and my edit when I'm making the episode reaction and everything, man. It works. For some reason, my PS4 doesn't pick it up, but my PS5 does. I don't know how that works, but we move. So yeah, that's how I'm doing it, man. I literally have to move my PS5 from one side of the thing I got my TV and my PS5 over to the other side so I can plug it in and then install it my webcam right on top of my laptop where I usually have it so it would still feel and sound the same. It does. So, but the audio sounds different. That's why, guys. But yeah, man. Also the next episode preview was in Japanese this time. They finally went back to the Japanese. But yeah. Anyway, guys, if the audio sounds different, that's why, man. So please bear with me. I've been having to go through some unorthodox ways of filming to keep the videos up for you guys, man. But hey, the grind doesn't stop, man. So yeah, and that's why the audio doesn't sound as good, or you guys keep the pauses, or the cuts don't sound as good as they probably used to. That's why, man, Share Factory isn't as good as Premiere, So it's good. So I'm gonna have to work with it a little bit, man. But bear with me until we get everything fixed, man. Until then, let's just jump right into the actual episode, man, because this episode was fucking amazing. So we start the episode off with All Might, where we actually get to see him actually explaining the plan to defeat Shigaraki and the others, where we see how. First of all, I also gotta say I like the way this was like director whatnot, where they actually have different filters for different scenes. Like we see with Aoyama when he meets up with All For One, that's a red filter. We got a green filter in there, I think, for when Monoma was going to be using Kurogira's powers and other color filters, man. I thought it overall looked really, really nice. So he continues on saying that he'll use System Troy to split them off and set them off to different locations. We mentioned the coffin in the sky, which you guys remember I mentioned, thought it sounded like a castle in the sky, a fucked up castle in the sky, reference mentioning Aoyama copying Aizawa's quirk to, of course, take out Shigaraki, and mentioned that the team is going to be surrounded around Izuku with Best Genius, Bakugo, Tamaki, Nejire, and Mirko, which we also see later on the episode. She actually has this arsenal that she can switch out her prosthetic arm with different weapons and shit. It looks fucking awesome when we get to see that later on the episode. Then he clears the mentions All For One getting split up to the to the remnants of the Gengel Village or whatever it was called, that, you know, where the Paranormal Farm was before, with Endeavor, Hawks, Kamiwood, Tokoyami, etc. Then shipping off Toga to Okato Island with Grand Orca, who we find out actually owns this place, which, because of course he does. With him, is one of his sidekicks. It looks like Sue Uraraka, and actually the chick from that we saw from the Sue filler episode back in season 2, which I think confirms that these characters are indeed like fully canon at this point, unless they weren't in the manga and the anime. It's just adding them in there, man. I don't know. You guys know I'm in anime only. So then, of course, we also see Dabi, where we see he got set off with obviously Todoroki, Ida, and Burning, and the rest of Endeavor's sidekicks. Then he says the remaining villains we're going to ship out to a stadium that's left by Soji, Sato, and Sero and Sato. And then the rest of the villains will, of course, be taken up by the remaining heroes that are there, including Fat Gum. And All Might Such thinks that there might be a chance that Gigantomachia and Karakuri will be up on next for All For One to try and get them back after Shigaraki has reawakened. After that, we cut back to Monoma, and he's laughing his ass off, once again relishing the fact that he is finally the protagonist of this story. And we of course see what we saw last week with Shigaraki's fingers, him fingering Mirko, which I actually saw someone tweet that one after last episode out, and then I thought that was pretty funny, so I was like, fuck it, I'll mention it here. But anyway, so yeah, we have his whole thing going off there. Everyone is wondering what's going on. You know, Monoma tells him that, you know, I'm still staring at him, he shouldn't be doing this, what's going on. Nobody knows what's happening, and we find out that this is basically his body evolving. It's seemingly his body is adapting to having All For One's quirk, and being able to contain multiple quirks, that his body is adapting to it, and thereby that's why he has all these fingers. That seems to be the reason. He goes off mentioning that this was a singularity that the good doctor was after, man, more or less. I think this is once again going back to the whole Quirk Doomsday theory that we heard back in season 4, I think that's when that was, with the kids, I believe, is where that was first mentioned, was the Quirk Doomsday theory. I might be wrong on that one, but that seems to be what's going on with that whole thing, man. So, yeah. The CGI on his fingers also looked really good as well, I must say. I'm sure someone's really like, CGI, but like, if you actually look at it and pay attention, man, it's some pretty good CGI, man. It looks really, really good, I have to say. So then Izuku comes up on the comms to Aizawa. He, of course, tells him that he got switched over to the island with the Gran Torino, Uraraka, and all those guys, and you know, he's requesting a rep to obviously get back to the battle where he's supposed to be, and he obviously can't because, of course, how Monoma's quirk works. He guessed he would have to stop using Erase to do that one, and judging if he has his quirks again, he has all these fingers everywhere. If he uses Decay, they're fucked. So he tells Izuku that they're going to have to go back by himself. They're going to have him go back by himself or get there by himself, which eventually went to the one of the Pussycats. I forget this chick's name. She relays it to the rest of the team, and then we get the squad shot of everyone coming in there being like, that we all can win this. They're all like, yeah, and then, you know, at the end, Taoki's like, yeah. We also get to see Mirko and Baku argue for a bit, man, which was fucking awesome, man, I have to say. I cannot wait to hear the Cliffords and Inaris' version of this when this episode drops, man. It's gonna be awesome, man. So then we finally get over to the island. We get some narration from Present Mic explaining that this southern island with wide beaches has a beautiful resort along the horizon. But the showcase of this island is the Okoto Aquarium. Did I pronounce that right? If I pronounce that right, if I'm not, excuse me, I'm not Japanese. And then we're tourists around the world come to visit this aquarium. We find, like I mentioned before, we found that Grand Orca is the one that owns this place, man. And yeah, Present Mic's narration. This was the only narration we got from Present Mic, man. Present Mic, man, he was amazing this episode, man. I love this narration this episode, man. But the highlight is obviously coming later on the episode, man, which we'll obviously talk about in a minute. So we get back to the fight. We see a bunch of the guards going up against some of Grand Orca's guys and everything, man. We're seeing them all fight along the coastline. We see this Nomu that reminded me of that one guy from the Suicide Squad. You guys remember that? You guys remember the start of the movie? Man, you had this one of the heroes, one of the guys that was on the Suicide Squad that was like on the beach that got completely gunned down before the like Peacemaker's team and everything, and Bloodsport's team came up from like the back end of it. the team that Harley was on with Boomerang and like Weasel that can't swim. Suicide Squad is such an amazing film. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Do you guys remember one of the guys could like detach his limbs and like everything, man, and it did next to nothing? That's basically what this guy, but there's no more reminds him. He could detach his limbs like the guy, but he's doing it way more effectively than that one guy from the Suicide Squad. So yeah, we see them all fighting down there, man. We also see Moonfish possibly make an appearance, man. We see somebody with Moonfish's quirk. I don't know if Moonfish, they did mention the Jailbreakers in this episode, so I'm not sure if that's Moonfish with a new design or if somebody just took his quirk. I'm not entirely sure. The episode doesn't specify if that actually is Moonfish or somebody else, but you know, regardless of such, man, we see Toga charging towards. He's going. I was gonna say, man, you know, shout out to whoever. I don't know if there was one animator or multiple animators that were doing the key animation on Toga, but shout out to them, man. They did a really big up job with her. There's actually a couple shots where she actually was kind of cute until you realize that she's a psycho killer. They're like, oh god, get away from me, bitch. But I won't lie, man. Toga did look pretty cute this episode. That she's like smiling gleefully, charging towards Izuku with her knife to stab him. I won't lie, man. Toga did look kind of cute this episode, man. I still wouldn't touch this bitch with a 10-foot pole, bro. But you know, to each their own. I know she got her fans, you sick freaks. Anyway, and so she charges towards Izuku. He's trying to fight back against her, man. We also get this really nice shot while Sue and the chick from the filler episode are talking about, you know, that Izuku and Uraraka are separated by the water and everything, man. We get this really nice shot where everything's in black and white, but Izuku and Uraraka are in color. I thought that was a really nice touch, man. Like I mentioned before, the animation here with the Toga, but she's charging towards Izuku, looks really good. Uraraka, of course, asked him Izuku what's going on there, man. He mentioned that he was like sent to a different portal. They was like forcefully sent here by Toga, and you know that he can't get back. They have to get back by himself. And as we see Uraraka, we also get to see Uraraka float away a sexy redhead, but we don't get to see her face. What the hell? What the hell, Horikoshi? Come on, bro. Why you gotta do it like that? You know me, man. You guys know me. I love redheads, bro. Why are you teasing me with a sexy redhead, yet you don't show me her face? That's some fucking bullshit, man. Like, there was one problem, it was that I did not get to see the sexy redhead face. I like her design, too. I like when we saw her outfit. She looked cool. I would have liked to see her face, bro. Why you gotta do that? Don't tease me with a sexy redhead. It's like that one chick in the JoJo episode from part 6 when she was stuck off in, like, one of the areas of prison and she had to, like, fight everyone off. There was, like, this one chick that was a redhead there, and then she never appears in the rest of the episode, in the following episodes. I was like, what the fuck? What was even the point of showing her? Anyway, so as I said, she's, Toga's charging towards Izuku. Like I said, we get some really nice animation for right here. We find out that somehow Toga isn't setting off Izuku's danger sense. Isn't setting off his danger sense. And then the fourth, I believe, is the guy that's danger sense. I might be wrong on that one. Correct me if I'm wrong. We see his ghost appear and say that her danger isn't being registered as actual danger for some reason, and as the episode continues onward, he mentions that she has genuine she has genuine affection for Izuku, and I guess that's what's not setting off danger sense, because she has actual affection towards Izuku, thereby, and because her affection is by stabbing people and blood, thereby it counteracts it actually being registered as danger because she is actually like affectionate towards Izuku. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I guess that's how it works. Is her affection negates her bloodlust, and her literally rushing towards Izuku to stab him is actual danger. I guess I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, we then get to arguably maybe my favorite part of the episode, man. Like, this was arguably my favorite part of the episode, man. Where finally Toga tells Izuku how she really feels about him, and she tells him that she wants him to be his boyfriend. Uraraka is flabbergasted by this, but nowhere near as much as Izuku is by this revelation. Once again, the key animation here looks fantastic. We also get Toga's new render for the commercials, but it's also seeing the same shot of the episode same shots we saw right before the commercial break was. It looks really good, man. I like her new render as well. So, while all this is going on, man, I love the way that this is all shot and directed, man. You have all of this fighting going around them, man. Water is splashing all over the place. While you got President Mike giving us some narration about how Izuku is the ninth wielder, one for all, and that he's the most important aspect on this battle, and his heart just ever since is all for one, and all of that. And he's been working things behind the scenes at the start of Superhero Society and all that shit, man. And then was the first time that Izuku found out how Toga truly feels about him. My man starts blushing as he screams out, "What are you saying?" And then, I wonder if Bakugo got a handle on pressing my script real quick and changed up made a last minute change because he says no matter what he is still a damn nerd. No matter where he goes, he's still a damn nerd. This cracked me up, man. This was fucking amazing. And she goes on to that she has loved her since she first saw him all injured and beaten back in season 3, and that he looked like her first crush, which I'm pretty sure I even mentioned that in my review of that episode season 5, that he looks like Izuku. I mentioned that I was wondering if that has some correlation as to why she liked Izuku. I don't know if I did say that or not, but I'm pretty sure I did, so call that shit. Anyway, then we get this. She mentions that Izuku's so cool, but then we get this really, and I mean really creepy shot of Toga. For Jesus Christ, Horikoshi Sensei, you are writing and drawing a superhero manga, not a horror manga, my guy. There was no reason for you to go this hard, bro. And the key animation here looked spectacular. I don't know who was the key animator. Like I said, I don't know if there was one key animator that did all of Toga's parts, or if it was like a couple key animators that did some of the various scenes or whatnot, man. But whoever was in charge of this cut, man, whoever did the key animation for this, shout outs to you, bro. As we all say, good timing too. We were playing as best girl right now in the gameplay. So good timing here. But anyway, man, Izuku, he's freaking out, being like, my boyfriend, you mean you want to go to a music party and hold hands and share a crib? And notice from this part of the episode, they keep going back to Uraraka. They keep showing her being like shaken and shocked by all this, man. You know, like, and yet you'll still have people coming at me like, no, bro, Bakuteku is the true romance of Hiroaka. Shut the fuck up, fuck off, mate. It is so obviously these roaches, bro, but these people are delusional. Anyway, that's my shipping rant for the week. Anyway, this was probably one of my favorite parts of the episode, man. I really like the way this was all done, the way it was animated, the way it was directed, was done really well done. She kind of goes on about how she wants to be him, and that's the only way she can be satisfied, and that she gets disappeared into the water. We actually get some really nice key animation here, man. We also get this really nice shot of Toga's eyes that I thought looked really well done, man. I can say I'm not sure if that's exclusive to the anime or if that was in the manga as well, and that was just like or that was just something that the anime director wanted to put in for the episode, man. But I thought it was a really nice touch, man. This whole part of the episode was really well done, man. As we see Toga kind of like rushing through the water to get back to Izuku, as she continues on to say that we are not the same only heroes, and those that they protect are people, and that's why you can't associate with me. She rushes towards Izuku. We get some really nice animation here while she's like throwing her, like, I don't even know what these things are called, from her mask at Izuku as he's like blocking, deflecting them, man. They look really cool. Uraraka gets in there, man. Oh, this cut was probably my favorite cut of the entire episode, man. Like this part right here, the animation here was beautiful, man. Then, like I said, Uraraka comes in there, man, to help out Izuku, and she just tackles Toga, and they spin around a little bit, man. That was one of my favorite cuts of the episode, man. It looked absolutely amazing. She tells her that she's been thinking about her since that day. Toga says that she hasn't thought of her once since that day, which I thought was kind of funny. She says that she doesn't care anymore. If the world rejects me, then I'll reject the world. Says that she's so sad and thought that she would be the one person that she would understand as she stabs her in the arm with one of her knives. Izuku and Sue come in there for a little bit of a tag team. Once again, we get the onomatopoeias appearing in this episode. We also get this another part later on in the episode as well. I think it's been appearing a bit more frequently this season, man. And like I said, I mentioned this in my previous reviews, man. I always love when the anime does, man. I wish it did it a bit more frequently, which it seems like they are finally. They're doing it a bit more frequently, man, which I like. So yeah, like I said, she drop kicks him while Izuku locks her black and sends her down the road. Obviously, Izuku was concerned about Uraraka, and wondering how she's doing. And then Sue tells Izuku that he has to go, that he has better things to do than talk about love, doesn't he? And then Uraraka looks over at Izuku, tells him to take care of Shigaraki, and then she says, "Let's do our best." And she looks at Pearl. The key animation here was so good, man. Like, this was another hype moment for me, man. I love this, man. Honestly, you could view this as Uraraka's Go Get Him Tiger Bone, man. If you really wanted to bring in the Spider-Man comparison, like, I would dare say this was her Go Get Him Tiger Bone, man, because it got me hyped up that like every time MJ would say it, man, bro. Oh my god, bro. If whenever Peter and MJ get back, I don't think she said it yet in the Ultimate Universe, man. But when MJ does say it in the Ultimate Universe, bro, I'm gonna be fine. That's gonna get a huge pop out of me, man. If we ever get that 616 again, bro, shit. I might pop so hard I'll go through the fucking ceiling of my room I'm in. But anyway, man, he leaves. He uses Fajin alone flute to get out of there, man. And he wants to use Jotaro's. I forget what the dude's actually called. I believe he was the second user. Might be the third. The guy with the scar on his face. That's voiced by that is Seiyu is Jotaro, which I thought was just pretty cool. That we also got to hear him in this episode again. He comes in there and asks Izuku if he wants to use his power. He said, "Yeah. Do you plan on injuring yourself again?" He goes on to say that as Izuku has grown and leveled up and evolved with One For All and gotten stronger with One For All, that One For All stuff that's gotten strong with him, and he can't just use those quirks willy-nilly like they used to be. They have to be saved. I guess because the quirks themselves are getting strong, maybe his body can't take using all these quirks at once, and he would only have to use it as a last resort, or at the very least use his quirk as a last resort. What is this? What is Jotaro's quirk, man? Because I don't think we ever figured out what his quirk is yet. I don't think it's been revealed yet, but I guess we'll find out soon enough, man. But I am definitely intrigued to see where that goes. Anyway, we are led with Uraraka and Sue staring down Toga as they're ready to continue their battle. We get some narration from Sue where she says, "Besides, I couldn't stand for a precious secret like that to be revealed like that." Which I don't know what she means. To be fair, right before Izuku and Sue got her, right after she said, Toga did say, "I thought you would maybe understand because we like the same," and then that's when it cuts. That's when they get in there. And I'm assuming she's referring to like Uraraka's secret that she likes Izuku being revealed like that. I'm assuming, but to be fair, it's not much of a secret thing. We all know it's very obvious that Mina especially has known this for a while, man. So I don't know if it's much of a secret, but I'm assuming that's what Toga or what Sue, is referring to. And then Toga declares that she will do what makes sense to her. And then Uraraka says, "I declare that I will do what makes sense to me too." As Ochaku Uraraka, man. Oh my god, bro! I cannot wait to take Lucy and Leanne's version of this when the demo this drops out. It's gonna be so hot. It's gonna be so fucking hype. So then we return to Dabi. Basically now has like this entire like flaming tornado around the surrounding area that the battlefield where him and Todoroki takes place. And we actually get to see, which actually the All Might statue is still, still keeping form. It's still there. It's still made out of some strong materials to not instantly melt. Although we see, I believe it was the next episode preview following us, so we do see it actually start to melt away a little bit. So like, but hey, the fact that it survived this long, and didn't melt away in the slides, man. Hey, they made that thing out of some good materials. That was some good bronze they made out of, or whatever materials this was made of. Anyway, we see Ida. He can't get in there because, of course, the intensity of the flame. His engines won't work, so he can't get in there anymore. We see Dabi levitating with the fire, and he gets food with lights, and we get the whoosh sound effect following him as he goes. But you guys, like I mentioned before, I always like when the anime does it, and I wish we got more. So then he goes on, and then we see, or right before he goes on his long ass soliloquy about like wanting to be free and everything, we get to see some of Endeavor's sidekicks. We see one of the guys asking Killer, "Hey Killer, do you have a fear of fire and fire in his body?" And we actually get to see parts of his face finally a little bit. We get to see parts of his face, his hair. So we finally get to see what he looks like. We see burning. She manages how even that even though he's a smelly old man that has family drama, there was never any lies in his work, past or present. And then she says, "Old smelly armpits has always entrusted this to us." Damn, woman deserves this. I don't know why she calls it never old smelly. Does he have smelly armpits? I mean, I guess I would assume, given he has a firework, he sweats a lot. So, like, maybe that's what he's getting at. I'm not exactly sure what she means by that. Well, she's calling him old smelly armpits. So Dabi's going up like, "Oh, of course, Dad couldn't come here to face himself. He had to send his third son and his sidekicks after me." And then Todoroki tells him that he came here because he wanted to. And Dabi tells him he's just being a pawn for Dad. He would be if he ignored him and continued being a hero. And then he came here because he blamed him before he wanted, because he wants to stop Dabi himself. We didn't get this wide shot to really show off the area of effect that is flame taking place, and we see this giant smoke cloud coming out with the blue flames. It looks really good. This is a really nice looking shot right here. And then, like I said, this is when he goes on about wanting to be free and destroying the world to change in his image and destroy everything. And then we actually get to see Spinner, and Spinner out here looking like he's about to turn into a freaking kaiju, man. He's like frothing at the mouth. He looks way bigger than he was before, man. So far, and now as far as I know, Spinner has not had any screen time since the war actually began. So I don't know where the hell this is coming from, but I guess, once we get to his fight with Shoji, we'll finally learn about all this, probably. Unless there's another episode between that where we get to see what was going on before them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that whenever we get to that part, because I've heard a lot of things about Spinner in this season, man. Shoji getting to do something, man, apparently like fight or something. So I'm really intrigued to see what that is all about. And then Todoroki asks him, like, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you, like, come back home if you had survived? And Dabi says, you want to know? Fine, I'll tell you, but now I'm still your big brother. And he says, and how it became Dabi, the reason I was able to keep living without exterminating a fire stronger than yours. And that is where the episode ends, you sons of bitches. But yeah, man, this was a phenomenal episode, man. Absolutely loved it, man. This was incredibly well directed. And also, I gotta say, I almost forgot to mention this. The music of this episode was fantastic. We get like the song that was playing right here throughout this part of the episode with Dabi was fantastic. There was also some great music throughout the episode, man. The music throughout this episode was fantastic. But yeah, this was an incredible episode from start to finish, man. Like I said, next week is going to be the big episode between Todoroki and Dabi. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, it got its own separate key visual for it, so Studio C is going to go out for that. I don't know. I don't know. I doubt it's gonna be like a massive Sakuga fest or nothing that crazy. But I'm sure it'll be an amazing and incredible episode in its own right, man. I'm excited for that, man. So that should be awesome. Anyway, guys, let's get this video off. Once again, sorry about the quality of the reviews now that I have to film them like this, man. But hey, we move. The grind keeps on going. So yeah. Anyway, guys, overall my final for this episode is going to be a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. As always, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on social if you feel like it. Link subscribe below. And as always, forevermore. See you.